Good evening and welcome to All Things Manchester, your source for news, information, and entertainment. We air every Thursday on Cox Channel 15 at 11 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Tom Topping, and the magicians behind the studio are Rich, and Joe, with technical support from Dave from Cox Communications. Tonight's guest is Dr. Maria Cruz, the Town Clerk for the Town of Manchester. Doctor, it's a pleasure to have you here. Could you do me a favor and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, thank you for having me.
My pleasure, ma'am.
And I'm very, very happy to be here. I am an educator and a public servant with a doctorate in education. I am very proud, extremely proud to serve our community as the first female Latina elected town clerk in the history of Manchester. With that said, I'm also extremely, extremely proud, and I carry multiple hats, as you probably are aware, Tom.
I do.
And I'm also very, very extremely proud that I have formulated a volunteer group as a now nonprofit. And it's a nonprofit focused to really empower the Latino community in town. I believe that our population has doubled. People have migrated from Hartford, the city of Hartford, into our town. We are a very fast-growing community, but our Latino community is also very shy, afraid. We have probably some undocumented families who feel that, very threatened in this climate. So we really encourage through cultural activities and cultural engagement and empowering and assisting and providing resources to really help our families.
And I admire your work. I'm very familiar with a lot of the things that you do. Full disclosure, Town Clerk is responsible for administration of justice of the peace, and I'm one. So we have a working relationship, but we're also friends. You use me to promote your Facebook. Your events on Facebook and whatnot. Just before we went on the air tonight, you told me that you had received a housing grant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Where did it come from, and how do you plan to use it?
Absolutely. So MLAC has is a current recipient of a $20,000 grant from MidstateCommuniyTV. And that's a small organization here in the town of Manchester. And it's for a housing. I piloted and wrote a proposal for a housing initiative. And it's really to serve our community from a different perspective, but it's for emergency housing assistance. It's to really, really focus on keeping our families here in the town of Manchester. It's really assisting on emergency. You know very well that electric bills are skyrocketing. Rent is skyrocketing, and sometimes families are forced to have to pay the gas, have to pay for the high prices of gas and food, and sometimes they fall behind on their rent, and they're looking at eviction or possible eviction. And our program would assist to get people back on track so they don't lose their housing. Home ownership is also a focus of ours, and sometimes home ownership, it's a little bit of a struggle to try to find resources or connect or bridge families when things break down. Some families we've had a very rough winter. Some families may have had struggle with frozen pipes, and that could create a problem for homeowners that don't know. So we would connect to them as well and probably assist a portion of the grant funding to make sure that their living environment is one that's healthy and safe.
And some of the things that I've helped you work on is building a community.
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. You have dinners. You have a holiday celebration, Three Kings Day, right? If I'm not mistaken. And you solicit donors, and then you have a big event where you invite the folks that use your services, basically the whole community. I know your work fairly well. And you make sure that the children understand that they're welcome in our community, which I happen to believe Manchester is very good about things like that. You may see things a little, from your side, it's a little bit different. How did you get involved in this whole project, and why are you so passionate about it, if you don't mind me asking?
So I don't mind you asking, and that's a very good question, and I appreciate the question. I come from a place of serving families and children in need, and our community has seen a share of families and with children and very young children in need. So I don't know if you ever remember Mr. and Mrs. Alejandro, who used to be teachers and educators in our school system. They have since retired. And they approached me one year, I want to say maybe 2017, and they did not want to lose the spirit of Three Kings celebration, which was a huge celebration. It served over 800 people. And it was really providing what's equivalent to providing on Thanksgiving a free meal, a free warm meal. Well, this added the caveat of the Latino community. It's a huge tradition, Three Kings. It's where you get shoe boxes and you put 3 shoe boxes underneath your bed with grass and hay, and you get a gift on January 6th from the Three Kings. They visit you overnight. And what started as me taking over that tradition became a ginormous task. And because everything that they did to serve 800 people was my way of saying, I can only start with a small group. I have to get my feet wet in this.
Right.
So I paired up with Concordia Church, and Pastor Beatrice Santiago approached me once, and she's like, I'll help you. Long story short, our very first one, my target was about 75 people. We had over 300 people, and that was equivalent to probably 107 families. I had to turn people away because capacity. We were very over capacity. And from there, it continues to grow. It's a tradition, and what's a blessing with this is that it's just not the Latino community that comes out for it. I have Asian, Caucasian, African American, Indigenous, and Bangladesh community have come out to see and share in the tradition. So every child gets a free gift, and every family member gets a free hot meal on that day.
I'm gonna ask you, do you solicit contributions year round? Do you have a website?
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask for your website?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's www.manchesterlatinoaffairscouncil.org.
And I was going to get into the Facebook page, which I know very well.
Yeah, yes.
If you want to tell folks a little bit about that and what they can find on the website and the Facebook page.
Absolutely. The website, there's a way to contact us. I just recently switched banks, and I will be putting up our new bank, which is Citizens Bank, for donations with a QR code. That's in the works. I just switched banks. I went from Webster to Citizens, and I will be putting the QR code for donations that way. And it shows everything. It shows our executive board, our board of directors, who is who, where they come from, all the events that we shared, and it's also has our Mi Casa y Comunidad program that is soon to come. That's the housing pilot. And that information will be going up soon as well. I hope there's a press release that's going to be going out, and I'm hoping to start that program by August 1st.
Okay. Do you have a sponsor or two that you'd like to say thank you to, or do you just want to move on to the next topic?
I have a lot of sponsors.
Feel free.
Yeah, there's a host of lists, but I will start with our elected officials in town, our Senator M.D. Rahman, our state reps, Jason Doucette, Jason Rojas, JJ's. Jeffrey Luxembourg is
That's
a
funny, yeah.
huge contributor to anything that I do. So I want to start with our legislative elected officials across the board. It's a bipartisan. Even our Republican in the past have come forward and supported Manchester Latino Affairs Council events and even just roundtable talks. They've come out and supported us. So then we have our small businesses, entrepreneurs that are a big support. For the first time, we had last year, 2025, we had formerly known MCC, Connecticut State Community College, and we're looking to have Central also join us.
Wow.
And Goodwin has joined us in respect to our scholarship. We have established a scholarship, and we awarded our very first scholarship to
Well, congratulations.
someone at the high school.
So this is a college scholarship to a student at the high school? That's wonderful.
Yes,
That's
yes.
absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
What else are you involved with in the community outside of your work? We'll get to the town clerk stuff.
Yep. So I'm very politically involved. I
yes.
am an elected official, and it's been very exciting. I was that child that was always challenged by my dad, and my father is a veteran, Army services, and I remember sitting around the table in an American history book and in high school, and I'm like, who cares about this and about this person? They're no longer here, our history, this, that. And my father would always say, it's important to know your history. It's important to know your history. And years later, as an employee of the state, I became actively involved over an issue with a family I was servicing at the Department of Children and Families, and I got extremely involved with the union. And the union connected me with the political aspect of it.
Sure.
And I fell in love. And I love the whole system. I am very proud of our democracy and our right to vote and the choice that we have.
You mentioned that you're an elected official, but you're a very popular elected official. Let me be clear about that. You ran unopposed, which is one of the reasons I felt comfortable inviting you, because I didn't have to do the equal time, the whole thing. And you did. I think I heard somewhere that you did a record-setting number of votes. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
We worked a lot. Not you and I, but the Facebook groups that I moderate. We got involved in the election last year in terms of getting the word out. So I was a little bit closer than I normally would be, and I never did really congratulate you on that because you proved to be very popular, and congratulations on that. If you don't mind, I do bounce around a lot.
No.
We're going to head over now to the town clerk.
Yes.
How did you get involved in that? I understand Mr. Thames passed away, and that was sad. But what made you decide to become the town clerk?
So it was really it really came down to the history of our town, and it really came down to what Manchester meant for me. Manchester, I was born in New London, Connecticut, and we traveled a lot. My father was in the service. And when I first started working here in 1998, I needed to move closer. I was living at home with my parents in East Haddam, and I needed to cut the length of time on the winters. What was 45 minutes or 40 minutes became 2-hour drives, so I wanted to cut that. And I was looking, where am I going to move to? And I was looking at the surrounding towns, and I came to Manchester. I just transferred into Manchester, and I fell in love. I was like, This is the first place, I tell my parents all the time, this is the first place I felt like I had roots. And I wasn't, it was like love at first sight with Manchester. And to this day, that's exactly how I feel. Like I've lived here all of my life.
I have lived here all of my life, and I love the community. That's why I'm 67 and been here except for my military service. There's a little bit more to being a town clerk than people realize. You mentioned to me today that you were busy, your whole team was busy today, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were doing today?
So the town clerk, it's an honor and it's a huge responsibility to serve as the town clerk.
Yes.
You know, I think we're the unsung hero of the entire municipality. We are responsible for all of the absentee ballots. We are also the custodian of all of the votes and all of the ballots once the elections have been either early elections. Every night I am in the office late. On the days that election runs from 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 6 in the morning, I'm in the office at 5:30. It's a long day, it's a long night. There's a sense of pride and there's a sense of integrity and dignity when it comes to the elections, and just being the person that has the total custodial responsibility of making sure that our votes are safe, protected, kept confidential is probably the highest honor anyone can ever have.
You collect the ballots out of the drop boxes too, don't you?
I collect
You're responsible
the ballots.
for them.
I
That's a
am-
relatively new
yes.
phenomena, is
Yes.
protecting those. And so basically you're setting the standard because nobody had to do that, not to the,
Yep.
to the degree that you had. And also the questions are, you're a big part of the wording. Don't you have a lot to do
I
with
am
that?
a big-
And last
yes.
municipal election, how many questions
We
did we
had
have?
6, we had 6 questions.
And what does that mean to the population?
So we are now Secretary of State as of last year. I want to say maybe last year, or the year before, has identified us as being one of the larger towns. So everything has to be translated in Spanish. Yeah, and so the 6 questions that we were challenged with was trying to maneuver them so that they fit on the ballot. And then on the flip side of the ballot, they're in Spanish. So I've heard, I just came back from the Town Clerk's Municipal Institute, and this is a New England thing, and other states were saying how they had, their ballot was like 6, 7 pages. We worked really hard to make sure that it was just one sheet and not multiple sheets. But I got to tell you, I've never seen anything like that.
It's
I've
amazing.
never seen anything.
No.
In my years of voting and in the years I've had as a town clerk, I've never seen anything like that. 6 questions on a ballot.
And Mike Paul to me, when are you going to get the rest of those questions up? When are you going to get the rest? I'm like, Mike.
Yes, yes.
So the town is very proactive. You have. I've been given an absentee ballot to post on the Facebook groups that I moderate, so that people, the town doesn't want people going in and seeing those 6 questions for the first time.
Right. So it's our responsibility to post them when they become available. That comes it's between the town clerk's office and the Secretary of State, that we have to wait for that ballot, and we get all that information out. We mail out information about the questions, what it means, defining each question for our community so that they are well informed prior to election and voting. They understand what these questions mean.
Right. Because Manchester has a lot of voters, active voters, not just people on the rolls. I've worked the polls a few times, and I've seen how backed up things can get with just 1 or 2 questions. So,
I have to tell you that I don't know if I'm the first or the second or the third, and maybe you might know or others might know, and I welcome feedback. But I've had phone calls from people with disabilities and are not able to leave their home. And depending on their party affiliation, I get permission from our registrar voter, either the Republican or the Democratic person, registrar, to go out with another person to deliver an application.
I think I heard about that last year.
Anyone that has an issue with getting, if the time is getting closer and closer and it's not going to give enough time to mail out that application, get it back, mail the ballot out, I will definitely turn tables and get permission all the way up to the Secretary of State to make that delivery possible.
And I think that's very respectful thing to do, because every vote, I believe every vote counts. I don't care who you vote for. I just think everybody should vote.
Absolutely. I don't care. This isn't about I want you to vote this way or that way. This is about your voice matters.
Right, right. And quite honestly, I like to know where I stand. If I find out that I'm the only one that voted for this, then I realize that I missed something.
Yes.
That's an exaggeration, so to speak. And you told me that the primary's coming up, so you started today. There's absentee ballots and everything for the primaries too?
Absentee ballots for primaries. I've had other party affiliations ask for them, and I've had to explain, no, you don't need to vote. And they get pretty upset.
Yep.
I'm like, no, not now, but come back in November.
Yeah. Now, it's my understanding there's been some changes in the way absentee ballots go out now. You want to just take a second or a minute, and,
So they've changed. They're going to look very different this year. Before there were like A envelope goes into B envelope, and the ballot goes into the C with the A envelope, and now is just you get where's the drop box, information on the drop box. You get information of your rights and understanding of the ballot, and you get the ballot, and you get 2 envelopes. And the 2 envelopes will tell you, and there's a protective sleeve where you can do the ballot, put it in that protective sleeve, and put it in an envelope. And the envelopes look very different, and the envelope that comes back to us will have the official seal of your name, your party affiliation, and it's coded with a number, and that's what comes back to us this time.
So you have your work cut out for you. The election season started already.
Our election season actually started at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Because we go through town committees, and if there's opposing, there's an election. Exactly. So our election season, November ended and January started. I think we got a little bit of a break for December, but people aren't aware of that our election season runs 1 year for the full year. There's multiple. We are fortunate that this year the town committees did not have any elections. Everyone that wanted to get on were appointed to the town committees. But we have those elections. We have JP elections.
Yep.
We have anything that goes on from the federal to the state to the municipal, local levels. We have elections.
You do far more than elections too. You just mentioned JPs, and I'm a justice of the peace. When people come to me, well, they go to you first, your office, and then they get the license, and then they come to me, and I do the ceremony. They're not married yet. That's just another part of a very thorough process. I bring the license back to you. I sign it. I date it. I sign it in black ink. I date it, and then I give it to you. And what does your team do with it?
We actually certify that license, and that license is now official. You are officially married.
You go into the vital records.
Yes,
right.
It goes right into. So when people say, I want my birth certificate, or they come in, they are like, I need a copy of my marriage license or marriage certificate. Those are vitals. That's what vitals consist of. Vitals is your birth, marriage, death. records. We are the keeper of all of those records. We're also the keeper of, if you're in the military, DD-214s, we're the keeper of those, dating back to 1800s. Oof. All of our vitals are dated back to 1800s. Mm-hmm.
I was going to get into genealogy to some into some depth, but we have 2 minutes left, so.
So no problem. Genealogy, the way we're doing it has changed. We are going to do a series of come in and learn how to do genealogy, family history, things like that. We're moving where we have a week of Town Clerks Week, and we're going to identify each day and bring someone in to teach you how to do your genealogy and things like that. But I thank you so much for having me here. If anyone has any questions, you are welcome to call me 860-647-3036, and I would be more than happy to help you out.
Well, we still have a little bit of time left, and I wanted to ask about land records too.
The land records, yes.
Just real quick, if I, for instance, like I owned a house that was built in 1919, and I was curious about, I bought it from an estate, and I was curious about the people that bought it, that owned it before me. That is part of your office's function, is to keep the records on.
So, it's interesting. Genealogy really intertwines with the land records and vitals. We get a lot of people that'll call their custodian, guardian of aunt, grandparent, parent, and they want to know information about a deed, about the property, the lot, and those are records that we hold. We hold records from the very beginning when Manchester separated from East Hartford. We have all of those records, and it's a joy to find something someone's looking for, and to hear the joy. Oh my God, you have it! And they're like, I'm coming down, I'm coming to get it. Or can you make a copy and send it to me? It means a lot. It means a lot. I actually had the benefit of meeting Carol Cheney.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and the Historic Society when I was on the board. And that really put it into perspective for me, the importance of our land records, our history, the genealogy of it all. It put it into, when you meet someone in person like that, it leaves a mark.
Manchester is pretty cool like that. We've been here almost since the beginning.
Yes.
Well, my friend, my boss, Dr. Cruz, this was a pleasure. I told you it would fly by and that we'd get along well and we'd present a lot of information. I can't thank you enough for coming on to All Things Manchester. Like I said, our television show is on Thursday mornings at 11 o'clock and 6:30 p.m. on Thursdays on Channel 15. I'll send you a copy of it. And as for everyone else, thank you for watching. Have a great night.